Hello, Year 9. Welcome to what should hopefully be your last recording from me for a while. And this is about setting up a summer project for you. Now you've got the choice. You can either do it in this last week of term, get it done and out the way, or you can leave it for a rainy day project. And it's about thinking about Nazis on film. We're going to begin with a quick retrieval task. Got some questions here about when was Hitler elected? Name 2 things that he promised in order to get himself elected. And 2 ways that he tried to indoctrinate, that he tried to brainwash children. Now's a good time to pause the video so that you can answer those. So, by now you've covered a lot of details about the actions and the groups and the way that life and politics operated in Germany between the wars and in the Nazi periods. You've got a lot of great knowledge of that time period, and you've got a lot of notes you can look back on to help you with this task. I would like you to put this knowledge to a practical application. Now, one job that you can do as a historian is to be a film advisor. Another is to be a film critic. You can use your knowledge of the past to look at the accuracy of those films. And people and film directors will employ historians to help ensure that what they are setting, what they are laying out, is believable and is accurate. You're going to act as a historical critic of a film about Germany during this time. You need to think about what aspects of the film are historically accurate and what parts are just added for entertainment, or where have the filmmakers just got things wrong. I was watching a film the other day. It was recommended to me by a student, and as I was watching it, I just kept looking at it and going, this is great, except for this one fact. This one fact where they had Hitler with cigarettes. And I know for a fact that Hitler did not smoke, that Hitler actually was completely anti-smoking. And so for me, that fact, it niggled at me because I knew it was wrong. I knew they'd got something wrong. However, it showed about the Nazis executing those that went against him, went against Hitler. And that was true. It showed the indoctrination and the militarization of the youth, of the kids, and that was true. So I looked at it and I saw some bits that were accurate, some bits that weren't. And actually, in whichever film you choose, you may want to do some additional research of some of the details just to help you with that if you need to. You could do this as a lazy sot. You could make a table with accurate or not accurate and then give your judgment. And this will give you a maximum of a K2 or 3 out of 5, but it will cover what we are doing. And we've done those sort of tasks in the past when we looked at things like Blackadder and how historically accurate that was. You could do this as a written report, or even with the wonders of technology, you could create a video for me like I've done for you, or a voice recording. I absolutely loved that I received one of those from a student the other day. It made me so happy just to physically hear a student's voice. You have no idea how much that made my day. So the working criteria. If you give just a simple judgment, it was fairly accurate, maybe state a few reasons, but no real explanation, it's quite brief, you're working at a K1 here. For K2, there's some reasoning for judgment, some aspects of it talking about the accuracy, but you're quite one-sided. You're either saying, yeah, this is really accurate, here's all the reasons, or you're saying, no, it's all rubbish, it's all just a comedy, nothing's going to be right. You're not really giving both sides in a balanced argument. K3, this, when you get to GCSE, is kind of equivalent of your sort of grade 5, or in old criteria, your sort of grade C. You're giving a clear judgment. You're talking about accurate and not accurate, with reasons that are explained for both sides and for the judgment. Moving up into the higher level of work, you're doing everything in K3, but you're beginning to think about real specifics of the time period. the impacts or the reasons of events that you've seen. Why was Hitler executing some of these oppositions? What was he so afraid of? Why couldn't he have opposition around? So really deep into the time period there to show that you've got some real knowledge of the time. And lastly, for those amazing, outstanding pieces of work, well explained throughout, points made that really relate firmly with the time period, really showing detailed own knowledge and really focused on the topic and on the task all the way through. Really analytical work. Now, I've got some films here that I've suggested. Things like The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas, okay? Things like Operation Valkyrie, the attempted army, the attempt of the army to overthrow Hitler, sometimes known as the July bomb plot, based on real people and real events. You've got things like Schindler's List, The Book Thief, The Pianist. These are all focusing around that idea of the minorities, of the treatment of particular groups. Or you can choose another suitable film. And if you're not sure, maybe check with people at home, maybe check with your teachers. None of you are 18, so you shouldn't really be going for 18s. However, I'm not looking up the age criteria of every film, so I'm going to trust you as young adults to make reasonable choices here, okay? But have a think about what sort of films you know. You might have ones that you already know, that your friends have already talked about. There have been lots on this topic. And if you're struggling for suitable films, you can always send an email to myself, Mr. Carvalho, and we can suggest good films as well. Speaking of which, should you have any questions with this, should you have any trouble, you can see myself and Sarah's emails there, or come along to the drop-in clinic, have a chat to us, talk to us. We can start discussing some of the aspects of these films already to help you out, to get your mind going on this. There's nothing I love more than a good historical discussion. I'm kind of weird like that. Either way, please take care, please stay safe. These should be submitted to your teachers before the end of the summer, so before September and we start back at school. Hopefully, over the summer, you'll start easing up the lockdown even more, you'll start being able to spend more time with your friends, and we should be able to hopefully get back to some form of normality, even if it's not 100% normal by the time we get back in September and you're starting your GCSEs properly. I cannot wait to see you all then. I've missed you students so much. Please take care.